Good afternoon. Thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. And yes, we've got a lot of good information today I want to share, but also some things as far as updates because once again, we had that really devastating hurricane that hit, Hurricane Helene, and it is really devastating. It's moved up, not just in Florida, moved up in different areas. So the first thing I want to share today is about updates because that's very important. It's just really sad. I've gotten some business friends on Facebook, they're business people that posted some things too, but like I said, it actually hit, the landfall actually took place in Florida on September 26th, but the problem is it actually had an event going, it was moving up, okay, in different areas, including outside of Georgia, also North Carolina, South Carolina. South Carolina got hit so bad. It's really sad, and they still have no power. People running out of water. There's been devastation like crazy, and we really need to find ways to help people. Okay, I want to share some of those with you first because once again, people care, and we're not thinking about hurricanes going inland and moving forward. Okay, and I want to share today first about some things to think about too. As far as organizations, and please check them out too, because sometimes you might get spammed. Okay, but one couple I want to mention, of course, I know that the Salvation Army is taking donations. Red Cross is. Also, the National Guard was actually sending things out too. And also, one thing that came up too I want to share about was actually there is a really fantastic organization called Signature Travel Network. And like I said, there's been so much hurricane devastation with Hurricane Helene. And what they've been doing is Alex Sharp is the president, CEO of Signature Travel Network. It's a consortium of different travel agency members too. But what they did was they actually we want to share more because once again, Signature Travel Group is a diamond donor, and what they're doing is they're trying to help people that are in the travel industry that are in need too. So once again, that might be something to think about too. But also, I know that they also support the World Central Kitchen. And once again, they're already on the ground in many places helping out people impacted by the hurricanes too. So let's keep those people in our prayers too, because it's really so sad that this came up too unexpectedly. We think about hurricanes hitting different areas first, usually in Florida where this one came up, but then it's moved further north. So once again, think organizations, once again, please check them out. Make sure that they are legitimate. Okay, but in the post that Alex Sharp did, he's the president and CEO of Signature Travel Network. He mentioned what they did was, I know Signature is a diamond donor, and they talk about the Family Bonds Foundation. Okay, but also mentioned with the Signature team, they also mentioned they're throwing their support behind the World Central Kitchen, and that's an organization too. It's www.wck.org. They're already on the ground helping people that have been impacted. Okay, as mentioned, I just know that it's got people that are in, South Carolina, Asheville. I'm sorry, Asheville, North Carolina, get hit so bad. I mean, they weren't expecting it, and like I said, I know one business person, friend on Facebook, got back. He was doing a trip, came back. He has a kind of place, and he said they were out, no power, no water, everything. Luckily, he's got a place to save. Once again, too, is let's please keep those people in our thoughts and prayers. Any way you can donate, that's fine too, but just make sure that if you have a donation, it's to a legitimate organization too. So let's please keep these people in mind because they weren't expecting it, okay? And we had to find ways to help out too, okay? Um, Something else I mentioned too is, you talk about different ships, new ships coming out, whatever, and one that actually is in the process of being built right now is actually with Ama Waterways. Ama Waterways is a family-owned river cruise line, European river cruise line, and they started in 2022, and they're family-owned, which is great. But Rudy Schneider is the co-founder, owner, president, and he actually is known as the architect of the river cruise line industry. So, yes, and he actually started his career actually as an architect. Yes, and he came overseas from Europe, and he actually worked in the U.S. Then he actually took something down in South America, and he actually built a raft on the One River down there to a great comeback. He did relocate to New Orleans, and then he actually helped people with other things too, as far as cruise lines and things too. And just got a great, great, great career. He's known as the architect of the river cruise industry too. And once again, what they're doing right now is they're in the process of actually building some new ships that will be sailing in South America. Okay, on the rivers in I think the Columbia River, maybe the Magdalena River. Okay, yes. And what happened was they had planned to start this earlier, but they just had a delay. They're taking longer to build the ships. So what they're doing is they're pushing it back a bit. Not too bad. But Alma Waterways did decide to push back. They debut on their Magdalena River in Colombia, South America, till March 15th this next year. They needed more time to refine the experiences that they're planning. Originally, they wanted to launch this in November, but they decided to hold back. And once again, it makes more sense too, because this is actually the first time a major river cruise line is actually offering a journey of this type on the Magdalena River. And they encounter some different challenges. And once again, they're just, because they're also pioneers, of course, too, and opening a new river on the world is not easy, as Rudy shared. He said it's exactly these kinds of bold steps that allow us to really offer our guests new experiences, too. So they did decide to postpone it, but it's still going to be launching. Also, if guests were already booked, because it was supposed to start this November, they're being offered different alternative arrangements too, and they can actually book a destination too. Once again, what they're doing is they're building 2 ships for this specific itinerary and route. Okay, it is the Ama Magdalena, of course, named after the Magdalena River. Also, their Ama Melodia, and what they're doing is they're smaller ships. The Ama Magdalena is going to be a 60-passenger guest ship, and also their 64-passenger Ama Melodia, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, is going to start cruises too in next year too. So once again, that's just 64 passengers too. And these ships are going to be sailing on 7-night cruises between Cartagena, Colombia, and Barranquilla. I think I pronounced that correctly too. But once again, they're taking more time to really get the ships up and running, so they're delaying it a bit too, but not too bad. And like I said, their first debut will be on the Magdalena River in Colombia on March 15th of 2025. So that's good to know too, just to let you know too. And once again, they're small ships and should be providing some wonderful experiences too. Okay. Something else too that's kind of fun too is we know that Icon of the Seas, which debuted earlier this year in January, it was the biggest ship ever built by Royal Caribbean. Okay, and she launched successfully in January this year. And remember that she also has a special officer on board the ship. The officer, they have a chief dog officer, okay, on the ship. Her name is Rover, yes. She is a female golden retriever, okay. And they decided to have a chief dog officer on board the Icon of the Seas. She's there to bring smiles and joy to people's faces, of course. I have some pictures I used when I first wrote about it. An article got published in end of January, but the thing is, I got a picture of her in the bridge sitting on a chair, of course. But the good thing is, she wasn't driving the ship, okay? She's got paws. What they did was, what they're doing is their next Icon of the Seas type of ship is coming up next year, 2025. It's going to be called Star of the Seas. So it's their second Icon class ship, and she'll be debuting in summer 2025. And what happened is, Star of the Seas just did a float out, actually yesterday, in Finland's Meyer Turku shipyard. Okay, that's the first time the ship actually came into contact with water. First time was in this construction timeline too. But it is special. They did a special ceremony, traditional maritime ceremony, which included a symbolic shot from the cannon. And like I said, the ship's dry dock was then flooded with 92 million gallons of water. Okay, and it's just completed too. And like I said, then the Star of the Seas actually floated out from the dry dock and then went to their outfitting pier, which is where the construction process will continue. And then once the construction is continued, this new Icon class ship, Star of the Seas, will be sailing across the Atlantic Ocean on its way to home port in Port Canaveral. And I mentioned Port Canaveral before. It's growing like crazy, but in a very, very good way too. Because, once again, years ago when the cruise industry first started, 50-some years ago, cruise ships sailed out of Port Miami. Okay, then they started offering more sailings out of Port Everglades and Fort Lauderdale. And then in the 1990s, when one cruise line really took off, it was Premier Cruise Lines. They sailed primarily out of Port Canaveral. And then Disney, when they started the cruise lines in the 1990s later on, they also started sailing out of Port Canaveral because it's close to Disney World, okay? But the thing is, now Port Canaveral is growing like crazy, which is great. And Star of the Seas is going to be sailing out of Port Canaveral, okay? Her inaugural sailing is going to be August 31st, 2025, and she'll be sailing out Port Canaveral, but she's going to visit the Perfect Day Coco Cay, their private out island, also Costa Maya, Roatan, Honduras, and Cozumel. And some other features, which I think is kind of fun, is they announced they're going to have a chief dog officer on Star of the Seas. Well, confession time, I heard about it first back in April when I was at a special cruise conference, Cruise 360, which is done by the Cruise Lines International Association. I was in the press room doing some things, and Michael Bailey, the president of Royal Caribbean, came in before he was doing a meeting, and we chatted briefly, and that's what he told me back then, that with Star of the Seas, they were going to have another chief dog officer. He said her name is going to be called Sailor. Yes, Sailor, Sailor. So, they just made this announcement today, which is fun, about Star of the Seas, because they unveiled more details about her too. And she's like I said, she's going to be featuring some different things too. Some features are going to appear on Star of the Seas, including their new Chicago-themed supper club called Lincoln Park. Okay, and I live outside Chicago. Yeah, I know about Lincoln Park. But anyway, they're going to have 6 swimming water slides, 40 different food and beverage venues. They've got 8 unique districts, neighborhoods spread out on the ship, and those are different areas on the ship too. They call them neighborhoods. And then, of course, Star of the Seas, it really, what they're doing too is, it just really provides different things for people to really enjoy too, because once again, their Perfect Day Coco Cay is their private out island, which is great. And also, it's got features that are also on board the Icon of the Seas. It's got the Pearl Atrium, 7 different swimming pools, and as Royal Caribbean says, okay, one for each day in the week. So they got 7 pools. You can actually swim in a different pool each day of the week, right? Also got their exclusive suite neighborhood. And like I said, Star of the Seas is going to have week-long voyages for Eastern and Western Caribbean, sailing from Port Canaveral. And also, as mentioned, Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas is going to have also a chief dog officer. Yes, it's official. Another chief dog officer on board a Royal Caribbean ship. And her name, as mentioned, is going to be called Sailor. Okay. And it's the new resident canine. Her name is going to be called Sailor, and she's going to join this. The ship is actually 250,800 ton gross register ship too. And once again, it just kind of follows the popularity that they've got of Rover, who is actually Icon Sea's chief dog officer, and Rover actually became one of the greatest attractions on board their ship too, which is great too, once again. So if you're interested in maybe seeing a dog on a ship, well, with Royal Caribbean, they have, of course, Rover, their first chief dog officer golden retriever. also, once again, with Sailor. She is going to be on their new ship next year. And what's fun too is with Rover, when she joined Royal Caribbean, okay, the Golden Retriever, Rover, as a chief dog officer, she was a 6-month-old puppy when she joined the ship earlier this year. And part of her onboard duties, of course, include making occasional appearances throughout the vessel, allowing passengers to really catch a glimpse of this 4-legged crew member. And once again, Sailor is going to fulfill a similar role on board as a chief dog officer on Star of the Seas. And they're not really revealing more details yet. Once again, they're working on it too. So I'll share more too. But how fun that, once again, Star of the Seas is going to actually debut next year. And she's scheduled to arrive. Her main voyage is going to be sailing 11-day round trip from Barcelona, which is scheduled for September 25th of 2025. But Star of the Seas is now going to have a chief dog officer too. So if you like dogs, let's keep it in mind. Hey, can't hurt. That's great too. Because the dogs that they have on board, like Rover, is really create happiness and really fun for people too. Smiles too. Something else that's kind of fun too is Carnival Cruise Line's growing like crazy, which is great. What they're doing is they mention they're going to have 4 different ships in Australia in 2026 and 2027. And they just announced this. So what they do is they renamed a ship that was actually P&O Cruises Australia Carnival Adventure, and then the Carnival Encounter, Carnival Splendor, and then the Carnival Luminosa. And Carnival Splendor and the Carnival Venture are going to operate cruises from Sydney to the Melbourne Cup. And then Carnival Venture and the Carnival Splendor are going to be home ported in Sydney, Australia. And then then the Carnival Encounter and the Carnival Luminosa will sail the seasoning and be based in Brisbane. Okay. And with this, from Sydney, the Carnival Splendor will be operating cruises of 2 to 12 days. Her 4-day cruises include Moreton Island, and her 5-day cruises will include Tasmania, including ports of call, including Hobart and Port Arthur. And the Carnival Splendor's 9 and 10-day South Pacific cruises will include Mystery Island. Yes, there's a Mystery Island. And Port Vila. And then she'll also be offering a 10-day cruise to New Zealand, including visiting ports, including the Fiordland National Park. And then the Carnival Venture's 2 to 12-day itineraries from Sydney include weekend getaways and also sailings to the Great Barrier Reef too. And once again, I know that they mentioned that with the Melbourne Cup, both Carnival Splendor and the Carnival Venture are going to be offering cruises to the Melbourne Cup, which is actually run the first Tuesday of November every year. And it's really locally known as the race that stops the nation. Okay, so definitely keep that in mind. Seems like a really great opportunity to think about too. As far as cruises from Brisbane, the Carnival Luminosa is going to be offering 3 to 14-day cruises from Brisbane. These include a 6-day Great Barrier Reef cruise. Oh my gosh, that sounds phenomenal. My parents had a chance to go there a long time ago. It was just phenomenal. The Great Barrier Reef, taking Airlie Beach and Cairns, and then South Pacific cruises to New Caledonia. And then she's going to be offering a 14-day cruise to Norfolk Island. And once again, the Carnival Encounter is going to be offering a cruise to the Great Barrier Reef and a variety of South Pacific destinations from Brisbane, including New Guinea, Fiji Islands too. So once again, as they expand their fleet to 4 ships in Australia, it really, I think, enriches their overall deployment. This is coming in 2026 and 2027, so that's good too. So definitely keep that in mind too, just in case. We've talked about, I think I've talked about women officers in the past, because in the cruise industry, people are not aware of it, but we have women officers that work on cruise ships. One I've written about before, I got a chance to meet her a long time ago, was actually, was the first American captain of cruise line ship with Celebrity Cruises, Captain Kate McHugh. She's gorgeous. I met her. She's an amazing person, great energy from the U.S. Once again, too, is we've got other cruise lines that actually have women that are captains of their ships. One, of course, is Explorer Journeys. And Explorer Journeys is part of the MSC Group. MSC Group, in case you might not be aware, I've talked about it before. MSC Group is actually family owned. They actually have the parent company. They actually first started doing container shipping company hundreds of years ago. That's part of their family. Then they launched MSC Cruises over in Europe, brought their office also to the U.S. back in 2004. So MSC Cruises has an office in the U.S. in Florida. And then Explorer Journeys is their newest luxury cruise line ship. It's Ocean Life to Sea. The Explorer 1 actually debuted last year, and the Explorer 2 actually just debuted this year, okay? And I'm in the process of writing about that too, but the captain of the Explorer 2 is actually a female captain too, so that's really good too. So I'm working that right now too, but they've got a female captain. She's actually Captain Explorer 1, and she's also moved over to being captain of the Explorer 2, which was just christened, I think, earlier in September. I'm in the process of writing about that too, so I'll share more of that too. But once again, talking about women too, one that came up too is Uniworld Boutique River Cruises. They are adding new themed cruises in 2025, and they just announced this. What they're doing is they actually are going to be having a first woman only voyage, okay? And that trip is going to depart on August 24th of 2025 on a Burgundy and Provence itinerary, and will feature truffle hunting, onboard workshops led by local artisans, also bike ride to the Chartreuse, as well as lavender weaving, burlesque sessions, and a chocolate wine pairing experience. And also they're going to have some new things too, an all-inclusive golf package. It's an add-on to the Brilliant Bordeaux itinerary, and available across 6 summer sailings. The package includes 18 holes of golf in Cabot, Bordeaux, and Saint-Emilion, along with a shared caddy service and gourmet dining too. So that's something else they're doing too. And as far as another third themed cruise, it's going to depart August 3rd next year, November 2nd next year. These are their Enchanting Danube itinerary, and that includes the Music of the Danube cruise will include yodeling workshop. I think it'd be kind of fun how yodel, right? They're going to include a yodeling workshop, also a Sound of Music tour in Salzburg, an organ concert at the Abbey Dürnstein, and exclusive Mozart and Strauss concert too. And once again, they're going to bring back some different theme cruises too, of course, for families, multi-general families too, along with travelers that might have Jewish heritage too. But as mentioned, they are going to be doing their first woman-only cruise next year, and this cruise will actually debut on August 24th next year. Okay, so keep that in mind too, just in case, because they're a very renowned cruise line, river cruise lines over in Europe too, but it's Uniworld Boutique River Cruises, which is great. Something else just came out too, I know, with Southwest Airlines. I mentioned they're doing some changes. What they're going to be doing is they are going to be going to assigned seating, but that won't take effect, I don't think, until maybe 2026. Okay, also, what they're doing too is, I know that with the new aircraft they're building, they're going to be expanding their overhead bin space too, and also doing some different things too as far as seating. Once again, their assigned seating won't take place until 2026. But they just made some announcements too, which is really fun. What they did was they're offering now, Southwest Airlines is going to now sell cruise vacations, and this is courtesy of World Travel Holdings. Okay, and what they're doing is, Southwest says it's a way to really part of their largest sales. Okay, and once again, customers can take advantage of these special sailings inclusive offers. And okay, once again, they call them their WOW experiences. It's the first fall week of WOW, W-O-W, yes, WOW. It's starting October 1st through October 3rd. So that's actually yesterday, but Southwest Airlines customers can actually take advantage of this special fall week of WOW. And they're working, partnering with, of course, Southwest Airlines, of course, is also through the agreement they've got now with that one organization too, and that's great too. So that's great too. Because once again, it's just a way to kind of, you actually can get your airfare through Southwest, and they get the cruise booked too. And they're doing this partnership, of course, too, with World Travel Holdings, okay, which offers different apps as far as booking travel cruises too. So that was just announced too. That's kind of fun too. As far as entertainment, people ask me, okay, what's the best entertainment on a cruise ship? Well, there's so many different options. I'm sorry. I mean, cruise lines have great shows, great experiences for you to enjoy. Okay, it's not just one favorite show; it's a lot of shows, and they offer cutting edge entertainment aboard their ships, different kinds of entertainment. And what I really like too is years and years ago when the cruise lines industry really started taking off, they'd have Broadway show productions on one of their ships. They still do that, which is great. I've seen a couple of them. It's fantastic. One time I was actually on a Norwegian cruise line, and they actually had Blue Man Group, which is great. Different things like that too. But once again, with Cunard Line, okay, what they did was they just did a new partnership. They just announced this, okay, and what they're doing is they open up by saying, okay, can you see a ballet performed at sea? Ballet performed at sea? Well, now you can on Cunard Line, because what they just announced. Cunard they just announced an announcement. They're hosting a ballet residency at sea. Okay, and our residency sea means they're going to be offering ballet. Okay, and they just did this collaboration with the Cuban ballet company. It's called Acosta Danza. That's going to be performed on their ship, the Cunard Victoria, for a 6-week residency from May 26th next year through July 7th of 2025 next year too. And this ballet company, which was actually founded by a ballerina, yes, Carlos Acosta, will actually perform 2 exclusive shows during the residency, those 6 weeks, and they're going to be announced more details too as they get closer. And then in addition to these performances, Acosta Danza is going to conduct workshops and also panel discussions on the ship's in the ship's Royal Court Theater. Okay, and once again, guests will have opportunity to really view the Carlos Acosta story, which is a biographical film directed by I think it's pronounced Clara Bolan, but that's actually going to be viewed in the Royal Court Theater, run on the in-room televisions too. Acosta Danza was actually, he established a foster emerging dance talent from Cuba, producing dancers who are combining classical and also contemporary genres too. And so the company's repertoire includes influences from Cuba's musical and dance traditions, and the Queen Victoria's summer sailings will include stops in several destinations, okay, including Greece, Dubrovnik, Croatia, also Barcelona, Spain. And then once again, they've got 14-night cruises that will be sailing Italy and their Adriatic voyages on the Cunard Line too. And also, Cunard has a history, of course, when they collaborate with different major figures in their theater entertainment. And past partnerships include the West End and Broadway production from David Pogue, who brought the award-winning shows to Cunard's Queen Anne. So it's kind of fun that they've got this new partnership to have Cunard actually hosting a ballet residency for 6 weeks, a 6-week residency with different performances. And as mentioned, that's going to be coming up May 26th through July 7th of 2025 next year, okay? And I think it's kind of fun if you think of that too, because once again, that bringing that Acosta Danza to the Queen Victoria next year really is a nice chapter, new chapter to their company. Acosta mentioned too, and so I'm really excited about the passion for the Cuban culture, Cabaret Ballet with Cunard's guests too. So definitely keep in mind too, because once again, entertainment is wonderful on cruise ships. I could talk about that forever. People always ask me, okay, what's the best cruise line entertainment? Well, they've all got great entertainment, different kinds of shows, interactive ones. They've got outdoor events. Okay, you can see movies outside with the big screens, of course, too, but entertainment in their showrooms too, which is great, diverse entertainment. So definitely keep that in mind, because once again, the good thing is these shows and entertainment are included. Okay, now if you go to different places, think about how much would you pay if you want to go see musical production, or production maybe in Las Vegas. Okay, I don't want to do the word, but they charge a lot of money, right? But in the case with the cruise lines, they do their own productions, even Broadway productions on the cruise ships, and they are complimentary because that's part of the entertainment. So definitely keep that in mind. That's definitely one advantage, of course, about thinking about taking a cruise, because once again, the entertainment is included. And they got so many options, okay? I mean, at night, I know Royal Caribbean, they've got their water shows in the evening. During the day, you can watch movies. But different entertainment as far as their theaters and musicals, the whole thing. So definitely keep that in mind, okay? Something else we mentioned too is we're talking about different things on board cruise lines. They do partnerships with different people too. And I noticed this came up with Princess Cruises. Yes. They actually are offering a new organic tequila. And guess the tequila was actually co-founded by Camila and Matthew McConaughey. They're joining the Love Line Premium Liquors collection from Princess Cruises. And it's called their Pantalones Organic Margarita, a tequila actually. And what they're going to do is they'll have their Pantalones, Pantalones Organic Margarita cart to stroll the decks, to really provide signature cocktails to people that are Princess guests too. And they just announced this, which is kind of fun too. Princess Cruises, of course, is known as a love boat, yes. And it's really famous for their ocean-going setting for romance and adventure. And what they're doing is they're adding a new kind of love potion, okay? It's in home for the Pantalones Organic Tequila, which is co-founded by Matthew McConaughey and Camila McConaughey, okay? And it's a special tequila they created, which is great too, and they just announced this. So once again, it's featured with Princess Cruises Love Line Premium Liquors collection. This is an exclusive line of wine and spirits created and curated by Princess Celebrity Creative Partnerships to bring really unique and indulgent experiences to the most iconic brand as far as cruising. And what's good too is we're talking about this tequila. It's actually the Pantalones Organic Tequila is actually 100% premium organic tequila, and it's got a smooth, great flavor. And once again, it's good for sipping or also mixing up with a favorite fancy pants cocktail. Yes. And once again, it's going to be available at bars on the ships throughout their fleet of ships too. And also, they mention a couple. They will be included in certain beverage option packages too, available with Princess Plus and Princess Premier packages. And once again, if people can't maybe make it to the nearest bar or lounge, they've got a mobile Pantalones Organic Margarita cart. The cart's gonna actually stroll different decks, offering different unique options too, and specially made cocktails too. So guests can even use the Princess Cruises exclusive Ocean Now service delivery to summon the Pantalones Organic Margarita cart to location, which is great too. And like I said, they just mentioned some of the special cocktails they're going to offer. Let me get a list. This is kind of fun too. They mention they've got their Pants on Fire. Okay, this is the Pantalones Organic tequila, fresh lime juice. They've got smoked paprika agave, and also I think it's pronounced Campari, garnished with salt rim. Also got their sea legs. I love these names, don't you? So you've got the Pants on Fire, okay? Put your pants on fire. That is actually the name of the cocktail. They've got their sea legs, which includes this organic tequila. It includes fresh lime juice, fresh grapefruit juice, agave, and also they've got Luxcardo. Also, it's topped with soda water. Hot pants, yes. This includes, of course, the tequila, lime juice, pineapple juice, jalapeno slices, and also agave nectar. Another one is their Fancy Pants Paloma. This one includes the tequila, the Betty Buzz grapefruit lime juice. They got their 24K gold margarita. This is a Princess favorite, so it's not going to be made with the special Pantalones organic tequila, Cointreau, Grand Marnier, also margarita mix, and it's going to be garnished with salted rim too. So once again, it's kind of fun because the brand's signature pants-free attitude is kind of fun too. So keep that in mind too. So like I said, with Princess Cruises, they do a lot of partnership with people too, and this is just part of their impressive lineup of different things they're doing too. I know they've got their Love Lime premium liquors, okay, and they've also got some other things too. But once again, what's kind of fun too is Camila Aves, I think it's pronounced Aves McConaughey, is actually an entrepreneur. She's actually a New York Times best-selling author and also founder of Women of Today. Actor and producer Matthew McConaughey is known for his award-winning performances as well as his off-screen philanthropic work too, which is great. So definitely keep in mind too, because that's kind of fun. They just made the announcement. It's not fun. Another type of tequila coming on board a ship. And as far as those options, as far as their cocktails, I think they're kind of fun. The Pants on Fire, Sea Legs, Hot Pants, Fancy Pants Paloma, and their 24K Gold Margarita, including more too, of course, too. So that's kind of fun, isn't it? And some updates too as far as things coming up too, which is fun too. Okay. We've got a new ship coming out with MSC Cruises. She's coming out next year, the MSC World America. Okay. I think I might have mentioned this last week, but the World America is the new MSC ship coming out next year in April. I'm really excited because I actually got to be invited to be on the christening cruise of her too, which is great. But what they did was they're going to have on board the ship, one of the dining options is actually going to be the world's only Italy at sea. She'll make her debut on the World America next year. And it's their new flagship, of course, too, which is great. And it will debut next year. But with Italy, it's really a global investor when it comes to high-quality Italian cuisine and food and wine. And it's going to be offered, like I said, on their newest flagship coming out next year, too, which is great. And once again, with MSC Cruises, they're really an international cruise line with European heritage too, which is great. So what they did was they're really always committed to really taking their guests on a really awesome journey, fantastic journey, gastronomic journey on board the ship with onboard dining experience that will really bring the best memories on board, which is great too. And once again too, is it's Italian cuisine, and like I said, it's going to focus on the Italian cuisine. It's the first Italy at sea on board the new MSC World America coming out next year. And once again, it's like really, as mentioned, a celebration, really Italian cuisine and tradition. And it's going to be offering extends beyond the menu too. Once again, the design's going to have different areas, natural tones, also soft lighting, also really informal but very, very elegant atmosphere too. And plus the open kitchen with will maintain Ely's commitment to really showcasing the cooking process live, which is great too.
Hey, just had a quick question for you. You can hear me and everything, but I was just wondering, 'cause I know some people are interested in planning for the spring of next year or maybe even the summer of next year, but I didn't know if you've ever been on a boat or a cruise when they were actually doing a marriage ceremony on the cruise and what you thought of that as
Oh,
a romantic setting. Because I know some people like lakes, some people like actual churches, some people like to do unusual things like possibly getting married on a cruise. So I just wanted your thoughts on that.
that's a good question because once again, too, is different cruise lines actually have chapels on where their ships. I know Royal Caribbean does. They've done in the past, and because originally, when you want to get married on a cruise ship, you couldn't. Okay, you had to get actually, you had to sail, then find if you were getting married, of course, as U.S. citizens, you had to get off the ship, like St. Thomas, which is U.S. owned, say, on Puerto Rico. Get off the ship, get married there. Okay, you could get arranged a little tougher, but once again, too, is I know that Royal Caribbean started doing marriage ceremonies on board their ships with a chapel. I've seen one of their chapels before too, but it's really good because it gives you more options too to think about.
Yep. I like that idea and everything. So if we really might be thinking about that, or maybe getting off the boat and doing it at the destination as well, because I know there are different cruises like Puerto Rico, Italy, and other places that are very exotic and everything. I was wondering because one of our founders has moved to Spain, and they just recently named Calveda. So I just wondered if you knew any cruises that were focused on that area of the country because he just literally moved from the United States to Spain, where I think he'll be permanently living, maybe even for the rest of his life. But he and his wife and their dog Tilly have moved over to Spain. So I just wanted your take on Spain and that area, maybe even Italy as a cruise destination.
Well, there are different cruises you can take, of course, too, and there are options, of course, too. I mean, the major cruise lines, of course, do offer cruises usually more in the summertime with Europe. And the thing is, too, is another option, of course, would be the river cruise lines. Okay, Waterways is one. They're fantastic. They've been around over 22 years now. Still family owned. And Rudy Schreiner, the co-founder president, he's known as the architect of river cruising. He actually helped people start other river cruise lines first, came up with the idea with another partner, and then Christine Cars came in. But once again, river cruise is another way to really see different parts of Europe. And the good thing is, once again, they can sail on the rivers and go to smaller ports, which is great. Or sometimes with the other ships, the ships are kind of big, they get limited as far as the place they can go to too. But there are options out there too. I know with the river cruising, usually they have special, I know holiday cruises like Christmas time, whatever. That kind of pulls off a little bit too. Once again, too, is with the European area for cruising, you get options, with Royal Caribbean, Celebrity Cruises, usually more summertime, Embassy Cruises too. Different cruise lines have that, they do offer that too. So keep that in mind too.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, I'll bounce off and let you finish out. But whenever we end the show totally, just let me know. We'll close out with the Virgin Voyage, which that's what we did Sylvia last time. But definitely got plenty of time to bring up your other
Great.
things. Those were two questions that popped in my
Okay,
head.
great. Great, great, great. We're talking about food and Ely, which is great. And actually, we have Ely restaurants. I've seen, there's actually an Ely restaurant in Chicago. I've been there a long time ago. But anyway, but this is the first Ely. She's going to be debuting on MSC World America next year. Okay. And I know that um, at one point, so years ago, I know Ely actually had, um, they worked with MSC Cruises to have it on one of their other ships too a long time ago. But like I said, going back to their new ship, which is the MSC World America, um, she's going to have on board the MSC World America, besides Italy at Sea, um, she's going to be having some other five different specialty restaurants. That includes their favorite ones, which is including their Kato Sushi Bar, Kato Teppanyaki, the Butcher's Cut Steakhouse, and the Hola, yes, Hola, Tacos and Cantina. That's going to be included in the terrace districts. Okay. Also, they've got other options too as far as dining. They've got their Paxos Greece restaurant. That's going to be in the Promenade district, and it's going to really provide transport guests from the Mediterranean to the Mediterranean, as far as different fresh options too, as far as their cuisine there too. And what's good too is it's going to be available offering lunch as also an option as far as outdoor dining, as well as small plates and things too. They mentioned that. And then music is going to be accompanying the dinner, so guests can really enjoy featuring their pita bread and dips along with hot and cold to mix and share too with the, and also delicacies like musaska, also lamb, and a range of different fish and meat dishes too. They got their Prana Bites, which is going to be offering hot dogs, of course, chili dogs, street corn, corn on the cob, also cotton candy. That's going to be the Promenade District, of course. Then they've got their Harbor Bar and Bites, and this is going to feature different types of snacks like empanadas, burritos, corn dogs, and wraps, along with cookies, brownies, plus cold beverages too. That's in their Family Aventura district. Okay. And then another one they mentioned too is the Baca Grill, La Baca Grill. That's going to be a great way to enjoy a really easy lunch, serving pizza, and that's in the Aqua Deck district. Also, got their Luna Park Pizza and Burger. That's going to be serving up American classics on board, convenient options during the day and also into the night too in their Galleria district. Okay, and as mentioned, the MSC World America is going to debut in April 2025. I can't wait because I'm on the christening cruise. I'm so excited. She's going to be spending her inaugural season sailing from Port Miami to the Caribbean, and our itineraries are going to be including a stop, of course, at Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve, which is their private island located in the Bahamas. So definitely keep it in mind because it's really exciting, but I like the fact that they are going to be having the world's only elite at sea again too, which is great too. So definitely keep it in mind too. One last thing I want to mention too is we have, of course, Princess Cruises, of course, has another ship coming out. And it's their second Sphere class ship. It's called a Sphere class ship. Their first Sphere class ship actually debuted earlier, the Sun Princess. Yes. Actually, a friend sailing Sun Princess right now. He was actually on Europe first and is sailing on the Sun Princess coming over the Atlantic Ocean, and it will actually then dock, of course, in the I think in Miami or Fort Lauderdale. But anyway, what they're doing now is the Princess Cruises. What they're doing is they also did a major construction milestone. Of course, this is on September 26th with their second Sphere class ship. It's called the Star Princess. And they did their traditional maritime float out ceremony from Fincantieri shipyard in Italy. And the ship will then be transferred to their outfitting quarry, which the construction will continue there too. And then she's going to be actually debuting in the fall of 2025, which is great too. And once again, what the seafaring industry, what they do is they actually do these float out celebrations too. The ships aren't quite completed, but they do a float out first, and it's when actually the superstructure actually first of the new ship actually meets the water for the first time. So ships are being built, but then what they do is with this float out ceremony, the ship actually goes on the water. They're not sailing yet, of course. They're still being constructed, but which is great too. And this was something they just did, of course, on I think September 26th, which is great too. It was a great celebration. And the Star Princess is the second ship, of course, in their Sphere class, which has some really, really great features too. When my friend gets back next week, I can't wait to talk to him about it. He's on the ship right now, the Sun Princess right now. And what they're doing is adding some different things on board the ship. What they did was, I know that they had different officers there too. And as far as the size, let me show that too. It's actually, as far as cruise ships, of course, we've got Icon Seas, which is over 250,000 gross registered tons. The biggest cruise ship ever built. Okay, the Star Sea's coming out next year. Royal Caribbean's second Icon ship also be over 250,000 gross registered tons. Now, comparing that with also like the Sun Princess and the Star Princess, which is coming out next year, these ships are 178,000 gross registered tons, and they accommodate 4,300 guests, which is really, really nice. Because when you talk about Icon Seas, it's close to 6,000 guests. Okay, but once again, with the Star of the Seas coming out next year, one thing that's good to note too is she's actually going to be operated by liquefied natural gas, LNG, liquefied natural gas, and it's also being built at Fincantieri. And like I said, Sun Princess actually just debuted in February this year. And she's kind of known as like the next level love boat, featuring the iconic elegant structural fixtures of Princesses No War II, including their evolution, which includes their eye-catching spectacles, including the dome, which is the cruise industry's first geodesic feature on the top deck. The Spear, which is a suspended glass spear piazza in the center of the cruise ship, and the Arena, which is the most technically advanced theater at sea too. So once again, it's really fun because once again, I know that people, even though the Star Princess won't debut until next year, voyages for her inaugural season are actually be available right now. So think about it, okay? As mentioned, the Sun Princess debuted earlier this year in February. She's not sailing, of course, and she was doing European cruises first, then is sailing now across the ocean. I've got a friend aboard the ship right now. Can't wait to talk to him when he gets back. But then she'll be offering cruises, I think, Caribbean. But then once again, with the new Star Princess, she's coming out next year. But you can already book it right now if you want to, okay? But that's really, I think, kind of fun too. I think that's really good too, because once again, there's so many good ships coming out too, and I've covered a lot today, but once again, we've got new ships coming out, which is great. Also, updates on the cruise industry too, and once again, I think that's great to know too, because once again, the cruise ships are they're really, really eco-friendly. They're working very hard on the liquefied natural gas, how they operate cruise ships, okay, which is great, because it really is another way to really kind of save the ocean more than ever. And liquefied natural gas is what cruise lines are doing. They plan to get to LNG, net zero by 2050. And the cruise lines are really, really moving forward on that anyway, too. They're really moving forward on that, too, which is great. So definitely keep that in mind, because once again, too, is another great example is with MSC Cruises. Their private island called MSC Ocean Cay MSC Ream River, which is great. I was there a couple years ago for christening their new ship. It was fantastic because they actually had negotiated this deal. The family did. Their family owned, of course, but they negotiated a deal with the Bahamian government to lease that island for 100 years. They paid $100 million to lease that island. It was a disaster. It was a farm manufacturing plant. It was horrible. The sea life was dead. The trees were dead. The Aponte family actually invested over $400 million in that private island to really get it back into shape. They had to tow away like 1,500 tons of scrap metal. They had to rebuild trees. They had planted, oh my gosh, thousands of trees. Also, they've been working on this marine land right there. Yes. Also, with their MSC Foundation, they have been planting coral reef trees there too in the ocean. But once again, it's another way that cruise lines are really, really proactive as far as sustainability. And going to liquefied natural gas is one thing they're all doing right now. And they will definitely be to net zero carbon before 2050, which is what the cruise industry really wants to focus on too. So please keep that in mind, because once again, they also eliminate single-use plastic straws, everything. They don't use plastic. They're very careful. They recycle, which is great too. And one thing they've done too is, when you go into the cruise ships, even as far as what you do as far as your like shampoos, those kinds of things, before they used to give you little bottles, plastic bottles. Now they don't do that, because what they do is, I know with the showers, they're equipped with things you can use right there, as far as the pumps right there in the shower you can use for shampoo, the soap, whatever you want to do too, which is great. So once again, the cruise industry is really moving forward as far as being very, very careful about what they're doing as far as really saving the ocean. And also, once again, too, as far as recycling, going to net zero emissions, that's how they operate their ships. Another thing they've been doing too is actually going into working with the different ports of call as far as being offered to offer shore power. And I know earlier this year is when the Port Miami just did that. They've got shore power available for cruise ships. The cruise ships can actually dock and then hook into shore power right there, which helps them, which is great because we need that more than ever to save the oceans. And once again, sustainability, rebuild the ocean life, and other things they're doing like crazy, which is really, really very, very positive way too. So let's definitely keep that in mind because once again, we need it more than ever. And one example, of course, is mentioned with Ocean K MSC Marine Reserve. They're very, very proactive about that too. The cruise lines do the same thing too, which is really, really nice. So definitely keep that in mind because once again, it's a way to really, really find ways to make sure that our ocean life just stays alive, which is so important. Okay. And whenever you're ready, Mark, we can actually show that video, which is great too. Because once again, with Virgin Voyages, they have beautiful ships. I got a chance to see their Scarlet Lady when she first debuted a couple years ago. But once again, with their ships, you have to be 18 years or older to actually sail on the ship. No kids allowed. But what's great too is they offer different diverse things as far as entertainment. What's kind of nice about Virgin Voyages, when I got a chance to be on the ship for about 6-7 hours, they had us come down there. I was at a conference, but they took us down there to see the ship when she first docked in Port Miami and Scarlet Lady. What was great too is they have different diverse restaurants, not just main dining. They don't have main dining room on board the Virgin Voyages ships. No, they don't do that. They have different options for dining, smaller restaurants. You can pick and choose. As far as entertainment, different diverse entertainments. Their pool area was gorgeous. And they offer so many options for people to really enjoy different things too, which I loved. One favorite one I got a chance to really do too, the entertainment was fantastic. We got a chance to see a beautiful show that evening. Also, I had a chance to dine with the restaurants, which is great. Also, different places to see the ship too. Plus, on board the Scarlet Lady, they actually had their ice cream parlor. Okay, Lick Me Till, which is great. You got free ice cream there. Lick Me Till, it's perfectly created too. It was great too, and the ship was just beautiful. Different areas, so many things to do, entertainment. But like I said, it gives you more flexibility too, because once again, it's not just dining in a main restaurant. Okay, you've got options for smaller restaurants throughout the ship, several, and they're complimentary, which is great too. And their pool area was gorgeous. What I saw that evening was just gorgeous, but different things to pick and choose, different shows to pick from too. And the entertainment that I saw that evening I was on board was just phenomenal. Okay, but definitely keep that in mind too, because once again, Virgin Voyages, you have to be 18 years older, but they do phenomenal things. And they're also adding, I think, another ship coming out too. So definitely keep it in mind, because it's really great what they're doing right now too. It's really great. But so many options out there too. Once again, something else I mentioned earlier too is definitely please find ways maybe to donate or give back, because once again, as mentioned, I know that with Hurricane Helene, which hit so bad, the problem is when it hit landfall in Florida, it hit some areas pretty bad. However, what got worse is when the effects actually came further north, and South Carolina got hit so the hardest. Okay, I mean, there were 200 people that died. They're still trying to find people. It's really, really sad. And but find ways to maybe donate. They could really get that help too. So definitely look that up too.
Mama, Papa, was your suitcase packed but not mine? How could you leave us kids behind? Parents are going on a cruise without us kids, and we know whose fault this is. Virgin Voyages says we can't cruise till we're 18, which makes us shake like we had caffeine. Virgin Voyages says no kids on the ocean, so we're causing a commotion. You'll be sipping cocktails under a starlit night while we're back home without an invite. Sure, you've
of it, but the fact we can't go is total bull.
You know how people love to enjoy food and don't understand how to flavor their food or how to replicate a meal? They're interested in supplements but don't know where to begin? Well, what I do is I take the guesswork out of enjoying flavor and wellness with my flavorful spice blends so that they can create delicious meals with healing benefits. Can Do Spice was created to help cooks at any level enjoy healing through food. Every spice blend was designed to give added health benefits of natural herbs. Every blend is complete. There's no need to add any additional spice for a delicious meal. Saving you time and money while adding supplements to your meals can be both tasty and fun. My earliest memories in the kitchen began with my father, Kenny Can Do Bond, so it was fitting that I would name this line after him. I have always looked to natural remedies to supplement the body, and I found myself hiding herbs and minerals in foods for my family. That's when it hit me. Everyone needs Can Do Spice. Everyone should be having this. It's an exclusive brand for cooks at any level who want to create flavorful dishes with healing benefits that can satisfy the body and soul. Add a little spice to your life. Give Can Do Spice a try.